Welcome to the Heavy Debriefings podcast.
We are Josh Runquist and the Metal Faerie,
A fun-loving metal couple that brings you the best in new music.
What did you just make me listen to? As well as movies.
3 hours later, nothing of value was added. TV.
It's going good, so why not cancel it? Video games.
Here's an idea. Remake the game, but make it worse. Wrestling.
Why are we still watching this week after week? And all things entertainment.
I knew it. I knew she was behind Black Guy Games. And a little insight into our personal lives. You don't mind that I trauma dump on you, do you?
Emotional support girlfriend, party one. He's a handsome fella.
I know, you keep telling me. We're made for each other, because no one else would have us. Enjoy the show. Hey everybody, this is Josh Runquist here for the Heavy Debriefings podcast. I am completely tired here on a St. Patty's Day, so good morning to ye. Drink your Guinness and whatever other pea water you're going to be drinking. Beer is terrible.
It really is. But find your four-leaf clover.
And speaking of the four-leaf clover, that of course was the voice of
The Metal Faerie.
And how are you doing?
Oh, I'm okay. I was on my weekend excursion, just came home a little while ago. I have a little bit of a headache right now, but, you know, that's okay. We're going to get through this, and we're going to enjoy the rest of St. Patty's Day, even if that means sleep.
Oh, what a perfect time for us to be recording a show when I've been up for, well, almost 24 hours, and...
Almost.
And you have a headache.
I do.
So you can only put up with so much of my crap. So we'll have to keep things tasteful here this week.
Oh, please. Us.
But we got a lot to cover, from explosions to implosions of marriages. Our theme of the week, Accountability 101 with Nevermore, and so much more.
Yes.
But, of course, as I just hinted at, we need to get into the news. It's time for the news!
Booze, drugs, guns, lies, blackmail, and laughter.
With anchorwoman, the Metal Faerie, and co-host Josh Runquist.
But look out at the corner of 12th and Main because I'm gonna be sick.
So, we don't have a lot of news, but just like most episodes of the show, we can't just go without a celebrity dying on our hands.
Of course not. It wouldn't be our show.
Now, who was it this time?
Unfortunately, it was Eric Carmen, All By Myself Man, also known for the Dirty Dancing song.
Oh, I'm not giving it to you.
I know you're not. I know you're not. Hungry Eyes.
Which you didn't know that was him. You thought that was someone else.
I had no idea that was him. Yeah, I thought that was somebody else. I knew he was All By Myself, but yeah.
That's how you left me this weekend.
I did. You're just chilling out, listening to some Eric Carmen, remembering the good old days.
What good old days? No, it's sad, but, it's just like those cheesies, late 70s, early 80s songs.
Yeah.
Just another one gone from
Exactly.
all of that. Do you have any stories or any experiences with that?
Not really. I mean, Dirty Dancing was always just a movie to me. I've never been one of those girls who was super into it. So, yeah, I mean...
No one ever put you in a corner?
Nobody has put me in a corner. Nobody ever will, so don't try.
I couldn't if I tried.
Exactly. But
Vice principal, strong woman.
Exactly. But sad all the same. But
oh, of course.
Exactly.
I mean, anytime a celebrity goes, unless they're a terrible human being. But as far as I know, Eric Carmen was not a terrible person.
Yeah, as far as I know, though.
Yeah.
Moving onward, we don't, like you said, we don't have a whole lot of news, but we do have a couple wrestling items.
Yes, we do.
We did watch wrestling again this week, and Mercedes Moné has debuted in AEW.
Well, I mean, they were slapping you over the face with the fact that it was going to be her.
They were.
It was called Big Business.
Yes.
It was in Boston.
With
it had
dollar
the dollar
signs
on there.
Yep.
And her very, very annoying catchphrase and slogan of being the CEO.
Yeah.
Which just constantly repeats in her theme song, and
yes.
she just keeps repeating it, and that's gonna be hard to watch.
I've never been a fan of her. Like, she just kind of irritates me, and even more so now. Like, I just hate that, like, last week Okada debuted, who is huge. Like, in my opinion, like, one of the biggest people in the wrestling scene.
Oh, he's the biggest wrestler outside of WWE.
Yeah, well, I'm including WWE, though. Like, as far as, like, solid, like, amazing wrestling, he is
No, I'm talking about popularity.
popularity. Well, yeah. But like, so much more light was shined on her, I felt like.
Oh, of course it was.
Because she's WWE.
America.
Yeah.
That too.
Yep.
But the thing is, it's just taking everything away from the women's division once again.
Oh,
people think this is going to build it up. It's going to tear it down. Why is it going to tear it down?
Because
they're allowed one segment a week, and it's just going to be her.
Exactly. That's the thing. Like, the women's division stinks right now because, number one, like you said, one segment a week, possibly a second one if there's a pre-show or something. And
every show's allowed one women's thing.
Yeah, and it's always the same people, and it's just kind of rotating them around, much like WWE has always done. Like,
I would say WWE's doing a better job of the women's division than AEW
honestly,
is right now.
because when we watched the last pay-per-view and they had the Royal Rumble, at least they focused like all the people from NXT as well and like actually made them look strong.
Yeah, you didn't just see like Sunny and Sable and stuff like that come out. Like, there was no legacy acts.
What I would give to see Sunny stroll out right now with her cigarettes rolled up in her sleeve.
But no, that was the thing. Like, there was like no legacy acts in the Royal Rumble. It was all people currently on the roster.
Yeah, which is amazing to see. Whereas AEW, like, they have so many other women that are on their roster or that are used like by match or match, however you want to say it, and they're never utilized, and they're good wrestlers. It's just pathetic.
I feel like I don't know this for sure, but I feel like a lot of the women's division is just paid per appearance.
I wouldn't doubt that. Yeah, aside from some of the names that like came from WWE, like we talk about, like I would not put it past them at all.
Except for Julia Hart, and I can't believe how incredible she's really become over the last few months. She's like really stepped up her game.
She's really taken on the work for the entire team, and Minnesota's own.
Yes, one town away from us.
I know. Moving onward, though, the other shocking wrestling news, not really shocking if you pay attention at all, but
how is it not shocking?
Well, let me say what it is first, then I'll get into that.
Okay.
So Miro and CJ Perry have announced that they are splitting up
after 7 years.
Now, if you watched Total Divas, the reality show off of WWE, this is something you probably should have seen coming years and years ago.
As someone who didn't watch it, you're going to have to explain this to me.
Yeah. So they were a couple that started dating when they were in college. And like, I get it. He was probably, I think he played football in college. And she was like, cheerleady type girl, So perfect match back then.
Well, I mean, it was great inspiration. He was a really, really chubby guy dating a hot girl. You don't see that.
Sure. Well, chubby but muscular at the same time. But like...
But no, I mean, compared to what he is now...
Oh, yeah.
He was a Husky Harris.
Husky Harris, yeah, that is true. But you could just tell that, like, as they got older, their personalities, the differences between them was pretty diverse. Like, she was... Number one, she very much thought she could be a wrestler when... No. But then she kind of relied on the whole, like, social media presence and just... She wanted fame. She was married, but she did not want children anytime soon. She just wanted her fame, whereas he was like ready to start a family and like much more serious, and not to be rude, but he seemed a bit more intelligent, and it just very much different pages, and this was years ago. So
I imagine a lot of those reasons are
still present. Yeah, exactly.
I also remember like she really, really wants to get naked on the internet, and Miro did not want her to.
Well, I think he comes from a bit of a more reserved background. Like his family and stuff is more religious, and
now she gets to if she wants to.
She can do what she wants to now. Yeah. Maybe Bobby Lashley will find her and they can finish their storyline.
Oh yeah, I keep seeing that all the time. Well, like pictures like when Bobby Lashley finds out CJ Perry's single again.
Yes. Oh, she had a lot of storylines with other men though.
Yeah,
they're all piquing their interest now.
And so many people thought that was the reason, not realizing that it's scripted out and not real life.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to okay it. They can't not do it.
Yeah. Now the question though is she gonna stay in AEW or are they snipping that right away?
Well, she never got the All Elite sign.
That's true. So it's probably by appearance.
Yeah.
So she's done.
She, as soon as it's on the dotted line, she's going on to OnlyFans, and she's gonna become a millionaire.
Probably. Yes. But that's really all we got for the news.
But is there anyone in AEW you could see going with Miro?
Like dating?
Yeah, because, apparently like adult stars, professional wrestlers pretty much have to date within their own circles.
I mean, they kind of do. Oh gosh. Maybe that new girl who's like Tony Storm's fangirl.
Oh yeah, Mariah May.
Yeah, like I mean she kinda has the same look as Lana, but she does seem like she has a little bit more of like a sense of humor, like a normal sense of humor and stuff. Like so maybe. I mean she could be married for all I know, but
Yeah.
who knows?
Yeah, once you really dig into it, you find out everyone's married to everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Sometimes they're in the same company, sometimes they're split apart, but
Yeah.
one thing's to know, 99% chance if you're a professional wrestler, you're dating or married to another professional wrestler.
Yeah, or maybe he'll go for a little bit older and go with Christabel's fake wife, or not fake girlfriend.
No, that's Christian all the way. Like Christian's got her wrapped around his finger.
I know, but like in real life. Like,
No, I know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. Like Christian's, he's gonna seal the deal. He's gonna make the story real.
I doubt
and
that.
He's really gonna be Nick Wayne's new father.
I think he's better than that.
But is he?
I think so. Call me.
All right, coming up next is everyone's favorite segment. From throwing prosthetic legs to punchable faces, we got the Metal Faeries reality review.
Ever do that to me.
And now it's time for the Metal Faeries reality review.
Oh, please make the voices stop!
Make the voices stop indeed. What do we got this week?
Yeah, so first up, I watched the third and final segment of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion show.
Again, it's crazy to me how, say they have like 10 episodes.
Yeah.
3 of them are just dedicated to recapping everything that you just saw. So out of 10 hours, 3 of them is just recapping.
Yeah. I mean, it's usually more than 10. I think it's like 12 to 15 or something like that.
Say it's 13.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's so much recapping.
It is.
And
it
Andy
is.
Cohen is spreading so much evil in the world. Does Vanderpump Rules get a reunion show like this?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, they all do.
Yeah.
I take it.
Yeah,
All right.
pretty much all of them do.
What about the Below Deck?
I don't watch that, so I would assume it does. I mean,
Okay.
I think they all do pretty much, so.
All right. Well, like, those are basically the only ones I know.
Yes. Proceed. So, with this episode came Kathy Hilton, who was not on the series this season, but she has a lot of history with all the cast members, especially her sister Kyle. Last time she was on the show, her and Kyle had a huge falling out. They've always had kind of a rocky history, those two, and their other sister Kim as well. But they have since made up, and they are doing a lot better now. But just as Kathy was about to lay into some of their castmates, especially Sutton, for some of the things that she said throughout the season, Sutton all of a sudden got sick. She started shaking, and her heart rate was way up, and she needed to be brought to the hospital. So,
Oh, that's a great way.
convenient timing.
Convenient timing.
So she didn't really get to lay anybody else, so that was kind of disappointing. But a majority of this finals episode was about Kyle and her marriage, which we had already talked about on numerous previous episodes. Pretty much. She had
What is it with this show and divorces and failing marriages? We already talked about one in the news. We got one here.
Quite prominent with this show. Yeah, not everybody, but there's a lot of divorces that come out of the show.
I wonder why.
I know, right? So Kyle did mention that when being asked about kind of what changed things between them, that there was something that happened where she lost trust in her husband. She didn't confirm that it was him cheating, but we kind of know it's him cheating. Since since they're split, so to speak, they still live under the same roof as of right now anyways. But they're allowed to kind of do what they want. If they want to date, they can kind of do their own thing. Maurizio has since done Dancing with the Stars and kind of started dating one of the people that he was partnered up with. So she was asked about how she felt about that. Obviously not very good. And then finally she was asked about her friendship with country artist Morgan Wade and if there's a love interest going on there or not.
There is.
Of course. She didn't say there was, but she didn't rule out anything in the future.
Well, Andy Cohen's going to do everything he can to try to bring that crossover happening onto the show.
That is true. So that wraps up Beverly Hills, Real Housewives of Beverly Hills for this season.
So how did you feel about the season overall?
there were some interesting things. I feel like it's less fun now than it, well, let me rephrase that. So another side story, let me just put this out there. Over the weekend when I was out on my excursion, in my kind of downtime, there was a channel on Pluto that plays like old, I can't remember if it's old or just Bravo shows in general, but this weekend they were playing Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, the first and second season. So I watched pretty much the entire first and second season again.
So that's what you were hinting at.
Yeah, so this was back in 2010, 2011. And like, it's weird because on the one hand, like I felt like there was a lot more fun that like the cast members had together and stuff. They were just, I don't know, there were moments that were more lighthearted, but then on the complete flip side, there were so many things that happened that just would not fly on today's television, like things around domestic abuse and mental health and stuff like that. And it was really weird going back and revisiting that. So this season, I feel like as the seasons have gone on, there's been less of like just the fun lightheartedness that they used to have amongst each other. But at the same time, also, like, I feel like issues are maybe dealt with in a different light as well. So, I don't know. It was an okay season, but yeah, that's what I'll say.
Right on.
Yeah.
So, what about the world of punchable faces with the Vanderpump Rules?
Yeah, so let's see. So this started off with Sheena. If you remember last season or last episode, they were on their little excursion in where was it? The like wintry part of California. Do you remember what town they were in?
Tahoe.
Tahoe. Thank you.
Sometimes I just love seeing you.
I love the look you give me. You're just like, really, really. But they came back from their Tahoe trip, and Sheena was kind of in a position where she was missing her friendship with the bad Tom, but she doesn't feel like she can really let him back into her life because she's best friends with Ariana, and Ariana has made this big stance that if anybody, has any kind of relation with him, that they will not be in her life anymore because she doesn't want him to have any kind of access to her life, which is the stupidest thing in the world.
Okay, then.
So there's a lot about that. The bad Tom also had a little lunch date with Lisa Vanderpump, at which point he learned that the girl that he had cheated on Ariana with last season, Raquel/Rachel, apparently hasn't been replying to Tom, but had talked to Lisa not too long ago and had confirmed with her that she was just really trying to move on with her life. She felt like Tom kind of led her down this path of kind of wrong stuff, and she was in a bad space, and she's since gone to like a rehab and stuff like that, and just lots of bad stuff. So Tom's kind of now in a place where, well, I guess I have to move on too because she's not going to be with me now. So was it all worth it?
Talk about that redemption arc, huh?
Right. Then in another scene, Lala was talking with Lisa, and so she has a child with her ex-husband, now Randall, who has turned out to be like a complete, not a good person who cheated on her, but it kind of was
Imagine having a baby with someone named Randall.
I know, right? But it was kind of expected that he would cheat on her eventually because she was the mistress with his previous wife. So it is what it is.
Boy, that sounds familiar in my own life.
Yeah.
Not with me, but
No.
You know what I'm talking about. But...
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
But she wants to continue to have children, and she doesn't want to have like a man in her life, so she has decided she's going to find a donor. And in news outside of the show, I have seen in news that she is now pregnant by a donor.
Turkey baster, or did...
I'm assuming so.
Is it Leon Black?
Maybe.
Because apparently he's in the business of doing this now.
I know, right? Then moving forward, they had a bit of a girl night and boy night. So the Toms got together with some of their friends, and then all the girls got together as James's girlfriend does like astrology readings and stuff. So they did that. It was really pretty terrible. They came to a little bit of an argument on the girls' side because Lala was starting to call out Ariana on kind of her stance on cutting people out of her life, and how Sheena like shouldn't have to choose between friends and all this stuff, and how Lala's just kind of, Ariana's just kind of up her own. Took us. The boys seem to get along a little bit better on their end. There's obviously some kind of hurt feelings and stuff, but they seem to be moving along a little bit better on their end. Yeah.
Can I just point this out about astrology?
Sure.
And how much bullcrap it really is.
Okay.
I constantly see people all the time talking about how they're an Aries or a Pisces or Scorpio or whatever.
Yeah.
And they always post quotes that say this is me. This is just like me.
Yeah.
You could put it to any single astrology sign and it'll match up with somebody.
Okay.
Take that Scorpio quote and put it up with a Cancer or Libra. It's going to be the same thing. People are going to feel the same way about it. It's not real.
I mean, that is your stance.
It is my stance and I'm sticking to it.
I am a Scorpio, and I do feel like I definitely very much fit the Scorpio kind of profile. I don't think that it's super true for everybody, but
I'm a Leo. I'm a fire sign. Do you really think I fit with that? No.
There are things about Leo that you absolutely are.
You just switch them around and you can fit with anybody.
Well, sure, at times we all have different traits, but as far as kind of your more common traits, I see some truth in it.
All right, Miss Cleo. Gonna be reading me the tarot cards and stuff now, too.
I have tarot cards. You know this.
I know. That's why I brought it up. That's why.
Oh.
And you see, astrology parties just tear people apart.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
Scorpios and Leos aren't supposed to be good together, I don't think.
I know.
That was a loaded, I know.
Oh, it's not loaded. It's completely cocked and shot.
Okay. Well, all right.
We're not supposed to fit.
But nobody else will have us.
Yeah.
Well,
anyways,
that's
that
the
was
reality review for this week.
Yeah.
And it got real.
It got really real. Cancel the bubble round because things just became real. Do you watch Real Housewives? What did you think of it?
Are there any shows I should get into now that Real Housewives of Beverly Hills is done for the season?
Am I right in thinking that everyone in Vanderpump Rules has a punchable face? Let us know in the comments down below. And now for everyone's real favorite segment of the show.
Yes.
Where the Metal Faerie, who thinks she's so innocent, lies to me on a constant, almost 11-year racket here.
What?
By saying that she's going to check out bands and never actually checking them out. I hold her accountable every single week in a segment that we call Accountability 101. Class is in session. It's time for Accountability 101, where the Metal Faerie is being held accountable and having her check out one band a week that she actually said she was going to check out.
Boy, I really hope somebody got fired for that. Ponder.
Now, this week should have been pretty simple, as it's already a band that you enjoy.
It's true.
It's currently my favorite band.
Yes.
We've talked about them many of times, from vocalist Warl Dane to favorite albums, favorite bands. Of course, I am talking about Nevermore.
Yes.
But, in your oh-so-normal way of doing things, you only check out one album from the band, when there's so many other albums that you could be checking out.
Not the case for every band, just to clarify.
More than enough where I can point it out. And apparently Nevermore is one of them, as you've never checked out a full Nevermore album outside of Dead Heart and a Dead World. You're not familiar with the 6-string era, you're not familiar with anything after Dead Heart and a Dead World. The only thing that you're familiar with is if I played songs.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard songs, but I haven't sat down with albums.
Yeah, and you've missed out on quite a bit. I mean, the band has 7 albums. What are you doing?
You're right.
What are you doing with yourself?
Just let myself go, you know?
You're telling me. Look at me. But anyways, I wanted you to check out what I consider to be the catchiest, most commercial, and honestly my second favorite album from Nevermore.
Yes.
Of course, the best is Dead Heart and a Dead World, so you are listening to the best. I'm not saying you're wrong for doing so.
Yeah.
But it's just there's other good stuff out there.
Yes.
And a lot of people might really disagree with me that this is their second best, considering this is the album that broke up the band.
Yeah.
Trying to go commercial to stay together, and it did not work.
Yeah.
Of course, some inside fighting and all that stuff happened, but
Sure.
Of course, we're talking about the album from 2010, which is now 14 years old now.
Oh, girl.
I saw Nevermore on Halloween 2010
Yes.
at Station 4.
Yeah.
I can't believe that's almost 14 years ago.
It's ridiculous.
It will be this year, this
Yeah.
Halloween.
Yeah.
But of course, I am talking about the Obsidian Conspiracy.
Yeah.
Like I just mentioned, I got to see them on this tour. They basically played all of the hits that you could possibly want. They played a lot of stuff off the new album, but they also played all of the hits that you would want.
Yeah.
And that made me quite happy.
Yeah.
I tried getting a Dead Heart and a Dead World shirt. They ran out.
I can
But
imagine.
I did get the Godless Endeavor shirt, which is an XL. Even though I asked for 2X, they handed me an XL. And there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah.
So I need to continue to keep getting skinnier so I look okay in it. But, of course, again, I feel like this is so catchy, memorable. It has the usual left turns that every single Nevermore album has.
Sure, yeah.
But it's just a fantastic album from start to finish.
Yeah.
But, is it to you? What were your thoughts on the Obsidian Conspiracy?
Yeah, so I did recognize quite a bit of it from you playing it and from some of the songs coming up randomly for me. I felt like this album musically was darker than Dead Heart in a Dead World. I don't know.
Which is really saying something, is it not?
Yeah. I mean, lyrically, they're both dark, obviously, but musically, I felt like it took a lot darker of a path. I really liked it. I don't think that it beats Dead Heart in a Dead World for me, but it's still, I mean, it had that Nevermore sound, but a little bit deeper, a little bit darker, still amazing Waraldane lyrics and vocals. Some of my favorite songs from it were Moonrise, Emptiness Unobstructed.
That song should have been on the radio.
That's a good song. The Blue Marble and the New Soul. That's a little bit of a different one, but
Yeah, that's what I meant by like them taking a bit of a left turn.
Yeah, but I did really enjoy it though. She Comes in Colors, and then of course the Obsidian Conspiracy is so catchy too.
Oh yeah.
But I thoroughly like it. I can definitely see myself listening to this again. Again, not quite Dead Heart in a Dead World for me because that one just has so much meaning for me. But yeah.
Well, I didn't think it was gonna beat Dead Heart in a Dead World. I just want you to check out the rest of their catalog.
Yeah.
Because I know how you get, like, there's other bands I could list off the top of my head, which I won't now.
Right.
I'll bring up once we get there.
Exactly.
Where you'll listen to the one album, and then you'll pretty much just ignore everything else for some reason.
That is sometimes the case, yes.
Why is that?
I
Are you afraid you're not going to like the band as much anymore if you check out the rest?
Honestly, I think it's more so like when I find something I like, I become kind of obsessed with it. And I'm the person who, like, if I find a song I really like, I'll listen to that thing over and over and over again, like ridiculous amounts. So I think that's more so it. I kind of become obsessed. I find my little niche and I'm comfortable in my little hole.
Just like us in real life.
Well, that is true.
We're just comfortable here. We don't even want to leave our studio/apartment if we don't
Just gonna end up
have
back
to.
here anyways.
Well, it's true.
Yeah.
Why even go out? We're just gonna end up back here anyways.
Exactly.
So, would you listen to the album again?
Yeah, I would.
Would you check out other Nevermore albums?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. We're on the right track.
We are.
Maybe I can re-add them to the wheel sometime and show you some other stuff as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I think every single album you'll enjoy.
Yeah.
The first few albums really do sound like Sanctuary.
Yeah.
Because, Jeff Loomis and Waraldane came straight out of Sanctuary to form Nevermore.
Yeah,
so,
that makes sense.
I mean, Dead Heart in a Dead World is really where they found their sound, and it continued on from there.
Yeah.
But, the early albums are fantastic, and everything after Dead Heart in a Dead World is as well.
Yeah.
They just put out amazing music, and I wish more people would check them out.
Yes, definitely.
So, what do you think, folks? Do you like Nevermore? Do you just know Dead Heart in a Dead World like the Metal Faerie? Have you checked out other albums? Why don't you let us know down below? And you can either praise or give me crap for having Nevermore as my favorite band right now. But, of course, it is that magical time of the week where we have to spin the choice and see which band the Metal Faerie is going to check out for next week.
Yes.
All right, let's spin the choice.
Big money.
What do we got this week? Oh,
all right.
This would have worked a few weeks ago when the newest album came out.
Yeah.
But we're finally going to be doing Isan.
Yeah.
Or Ishan, as some people say. That still sounds really wrong to me.
Yeah.
Look, folks, the H is before the S. That's not a sh sound.
I don't know.
IH is I or E, and then it's SAHN.
Yeah,
San.
You would think Isan.
Isan. If he says it that way, maybe it's a Norwegian thing. I don't know, but every time I hear it, it'll never sound right to me.
I know. It doesn't sound right to me either.
All right, but let's get back on track here.
Yeah.
I could have you check out the newest album, which is pure symphonic black metal and a couple other quirky moments that happen just like in all Isan albums.
Yes.
But I'm going to have pretty much the same thing that I had you do this week and have you check out the most commercially acceptable album that Isan has made. made.
Okay.
The album known as Arctis.
Okay.
If you remember, right after I did my interview with Isan, I put on the song Until I Too Dissolve.
Okay.
And the riff sounds just like Rat.
I remember that.
It sounds just like a big 80s riff.
Yeah.
It's the most commercial album Isan has ever made, ever.
Okay.
And I think that could be a perfect gateway into it.
Sure.
So, yeah, that's what we're going to be going with next week. And
All right.
if you have any thoughts on Isan, you can let us know next week or let us know in the comments or whatever you choose to do. It'll be very interesting to see what happens here because even though it's the most commercial, there's still some wackier moments that may not be your bag. Particularly if you check out the bonus track, which we'll see if that happens.
Yeah.
I think it's on the Spotify version. I'm pretty sure it is, and I'm pretty sure you'll want to turn it off. But we'll figure it out when we get there.
We will.
But this has been Accountability 101. Alright folks, now it's time for the whole centerpiece of the show. We like to go into a topic. Sometimes it's a bracket fight, sometimes it's a top 10, sometimes it's a Q&A, sometimes it could be some other wacky thing we decide to come up with. But regardless of it all, it is the theme of the week.
Well, now I'm here to tell you about the only real path to mental health.
Now it's time for our theme of the week. What will the topic be this week?
That's right, it's the something or other.
Now, we like to have a lot of fun here on the Heavy Debriefings podcast, but if we could be serious for a moment.
Yeah.
We don't always talk about this particular subject matter.
No, we don't.
Which is funny because we actually have a collection that covers this very, very topic. And wouldn't you know it, our little boxes full of whatever's inside is almost complete for both of us. We're going to have to get new boxes pretty soon.
Yeah, definitely.
But of course, I'm talking about comics,
Yeah.
comic books, graphic novels sometimes. You know,
Slash superheroes, villains.
yeah, all that stuff. And we're going to be going a little bit deep with this one.
Yeah.
Although pretty broad, actually.
Yeah.
We're going to be talking about our top 10 favorite comic book characters.
Yeah.
You know, supervillains, superheroes, anti-heroes, whatever the case is.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we're doing this because we do love going to comic book stores and picking up comics.
We do. I will preface this, though, for my end anyways, by the fact that a lot of my comic book collections are more like horror based and stuff.
A lot of mine are too.
So my list isn't necessarily reflective entirely of my collection, partially, but it's more reflective of like superheroes, villains from comic books, but that I have grown to love, appreciate over the years. Some based on comic, but also some based on TV, movies, etc.
Let me explain that a little bit easier for you.
Yeah.
We do not have any previous intellectual property in our top 10. Our top 10, the only rule that I had was it had to be a comic book first.
Yeah.
Not stuff that's already existed.
Yeah.
Which I could have done stuff like The Crypt Keeper, which I really wanted to, but did not make my top 10.
Yeah, totally.
Even though that was technically a comic first, my incarnation of The Crypt Keeper is from the HBO series, which is a little bit different than what's on there.
And I will say some of mine, well, quite a few of mine, I knew first from TV or movies, but they were comics first.
Yes. And, well, yeah, that's all I'm saying was, like, they had to be established as a comic first.
Yeah.
But here we go. We're going to be spinning the wheel once again. 32 choices here. Half for mine, half for yours.
Let's see who it is.
Let's see who it is.
Oh, just close.
I did not want to go first.
Yeah.
I did not.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do you want me to go first?
No, we can't disobey the
Oh,
machine.
that is true. Rage against the machine.
Not anymore. But yes, one thing you'll kind of notice about mine is mine's pretty basic.
Okay.
There's also some characters I would have loved to include, but there was also different reasonings for them not being on here.
Yeah.
I might get into that, I might not,
Yeah.
but well, I just went with the ones that, like, maybe from childhood I appreciated the most.
Okay.
Maybe not necessarily stuff that I grew to love later, although sometimes it might be different.
Yeah.
But, you know, like, kind of like with you with the horror movies, I grew up watching the animated shows like Batman and X-Men and all that stuff, and they were comics well beforehand, so that's not the issue going on here.
Yeah.
But my number 10 is one that I never see enough people talk about,
Yeah.
despite him, at least in my humblest lowest of opinion, is the scariest Batman villain, Scarecrow.
Oh, nice.
Because he's a psychologist, first of all.
Yeah.
He learns what people's fears are, and then he's able to make a fear toxin to make those people experience those fears.
Oh, yeah.
How is that not the scariest?
It's terrifying.
It is completely terrifying.
Yeah.
And I wish they would make a horror Batman movie or something that really shows off the power of Scarecrow.
That would be awesome.
Granted, he is a complete and utter wimp.
It's true.
Like, he has no real superpowers or
No.
anything like that.
No.
Or super villainy powers, whatever. I mean, you look at him, he's just this scrawny little nerd.
Yeah.
But he's so smart, and he's able to do all these things. And, of course, what's Batman's biggest fear? Reliving his childhood of his parents' death over and over and over again.
It's true.
And you see that throughout the Batman animated series and a couple other places as well.
Yeah.
I wish that was showcased more.
Yeah.
Like, the Batman 2, I wish it was about Scarecrow.
Yeah.
Make it a horror movie. It would be amazing.
It would be.
And that was kind of the basis of Batman Arkham Knight. Because, spoiler for a game that's over a decade old now.
Right.
Joker dies in Arkham City.
Yes.
And Scarecrow is the main bad guy.
Yeah.
And he puts a fear toxin throughout all of Arkham City. And it is by far the scariest Batman game. There's a reason why it's rated M for mature.
Oh, yeah.
And there's actual, like, real good jump scares
Yeah.
that you don't see coming. And I hate jump scares, but I think that they were well executed in Arkham Knight.
Yes.
And maybe you'll play it one day on the
Maybe.
Switch, maybe.
Yes.
But yeah, that's my number 10, Scarecrow.
Very nice. Very nice. My number 10 is Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Yeah. I will say I had quite a few that were contending for number 10, but
We'll get to that after.
yeah, well, I don't have them written down, but
Oh, okay.
yeah, Matt Murdock himself. I mainly know him from the Netflix TV show. That's where I kind of learned mostly about him. But
And the upcoming Disney
Yes.
show that's apparently going to be a continuation of the Netflix series.
which I'm thrilled about.
Yeah, because they scrapped this whole idea of it not being that.
Yeah.
And they decided to bring everybody back, which is the smart thing to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. But I've since done a little like research on the comics, what they're about too and stuff. So, but if you're unfamiliar, Matt Murdock, when he was a child, he was walking home from school and he saved a blind man from being struck by a vehicle. Unfortunately, in the process, he was hit some radioactive chemicals, and as a result, not only lost his sight but also gained some pretty amazing powers. And yeah, I love that. Like, number one, I love a good tragedy story, which you will learn with my list.
Oh, I can't imagine what your number one is.
I know, right?
What could it possibly be?
Speaking of which, we forgot something about the news with that.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
we'll
Well,
cover
we'll
it.
talk about that in the movie section.
Yeah,
How about that?
yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I love a good tragedy story. I also love that, like, he's a super intelligent guy. Like, he's a lawyer, but he's also like does so much good for the world. Like, he's not somebody who just like goes and kills everybody. He's not somebody, you know, who does.
He's
cheap-
against killing people.
Yeah. Like, he just tries to better the world, and like coming from a position where he's, you know, lost his sight trying to save somebody, like it's inspirational, you know.
It
And,
is.
Yeah, I love his character.
And his best friend, Foggy.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And your girl from True Blood.
Yes. And Elektra.
And
Don't forget
Elektra.
Yeah.
Will she show up? We'll find out.
We will.
My number 9, it is low on here. It should be higher, but I couldn't put this particular character any higher, and you'll understand why as I talk further. One of your favorites,
Yes.
that I know will be talked about later,
Okay.
it is, of course, Hulk.
Okay.
I love the original TV show. I remember watching at my grandparents' on my mom's side's house, watching reruns of Incredible Hulk on Sci-Fi
Yes.
all the time.
Yes.
And I grew to love that so very, very much. The absolutely horrendous made-for-TV movies as well. Oh, come on. The Room is terrible, but it's still enjoyable. Same with the movies.
I will talk about this later.
They're terrible, but they're so enjoyable.
I will talk about this later.
The Hulk has gone through many incarnations, of course, and there's different variations of Hulk, like Red Hulk and other versions as well.
Yes.
Many spin-offs, currently owned by Universal Pictures, which is why the current MCU version of the Hulk is so freaking terrible. He was basically only good in the first Avengers movie when he beats the living crap out of Loki, but that's it. It's because they can't do more with him because of intellectual property.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I love the TV show. I love the movies, the original made-for-TV movies. The real movies that came out, the Hollywood movies, are god-awful. The one that introduced Velvet Revolver, the band Velvet Revolver, that was a terrible movie.
Yes.
The one with Edward Norton is god-awful as well. Like, they can't do a good Hollywood Hulk movie to save the world.
Yeah.
And that's what he's supposed to be doing, is saving the world. We didn't watch She-Hulk because it just looks so god-awful to us.
Yeah.
But apparently he's in that as well.
Okay.
They're cousins.
Okay.
Yeah. But of course I know him from the comics as well. Like, I did a lot of comic reading when I was growing up, and I even have a little hard-based cover of one of my favorite issues, which has the Punisher on there as well.
Yes.
Like, it was one of their first team-ups. It has Punisher and Hulk on there, and I love seeing him interact with people. Like, he's so intelligent, but when you push him just far enough,
Yeah.
he goes insane.
Yeah.
Like me. Like, I try to be a nice, soft, caring, loving person, but when you look at the life that I had up until a
Yeah.
few years ago,
Yeah.
you saw me at some dark moments.
Yeah.
Some rage-filled moments.
Yeah.
That was caused by things that just pushed me over the edge.
Yeah.
Just like Hulk. Very, very relatable.
Totally.
And also, how did his pants stay on when he grew taller?
Right?
A question we will never get an answer to.
No.
Obviously, you know the reason why. In
Yes.
real life, you know the reason why.
Yeah.
Because you can't show that kind of stuff to
Exactly.
kids.
Exactly.
But, you know, it does make...
It does. It does.
But yeah, I love the Hulk, number 9.
Okay. My number 9 is Jessica Jones.
Ooh, I thought she would have been higher.
Well, you know. So again, going down that Netflix route, that is where I really learned about Jessica Jones, is through the Netflixos. If you're not familiar with her story, in a car accident when she was growing up, her family passed away. Meanwhile, she experienced some radiation that kind of gave her some special powers. She was
Starting to sense a pattern here.
you know, she was then adopted, and under the power of Kilgrave and the Purple Man, she had them.
Kilgrave is the Purple Man.
Oh, okay, yeah. She had some kind of mind trick played on her, and that kind of impacted her. And I just love her because, like, again, she's super smart. Like, she starts a PI agency on her own and kind of goes into the crime solving thing like in a very intellectual way, but also like it's just such a bad A woman. Like, she's tough. Like, I mean, yes, she has superpowers, but like, she knows how to deal with things. She just deals with it, you know. And I love that about her. And
Very sexual.
there
If you
go.
watch the Netflix show, you know it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
one of the first scenes you see her in is her in a bar, and
Yeah.
then she knocks the guy out right after.
But yeah, I love her. So yeah.
I'm hoping another character from that specific kind of thing shows up later, but we'll see. My number 8 is another one that I thought would have been higher, but is not.
Yeah.
But I think this character deserves to be on the list regardless. It is, of course, Blade.
Yes.
The Half-Life himself,
Yeah.
the Daywalker.
Yes.
Blade is just an unbelievably cool character. As smooth as Colt 45, knows how to kill vampires, and still has that bloodlust going on too. So, you know, you got that inner turmoil of what you should do and what you shouldn't do.
Yeah.
A very good anti-hero, but, you know, obviously more of a superhero than anything, but still has
Yeah.
more of that anti-hero stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, Wesley Snipes played him fantastically.
Oh yes.
Blade Trinity, not the best movie in the world. When you got Triple H as your main villain, and then you got Ryan Reynolds showing up for comedic support, you know,
Yeah.
it's kind of the death of a series.
The Triple H part, yes.
Well, it happened with X-Men too, like with Wolverine. Like, that was the original appearance of Deadpool.
Yeah.
But what did they do with Deadpool? They had his mouth sewn shut
Oh,
and trying to kill Wolverine.
girl.
That's not Deadpool,
No,
is it?
no.
It's not.
No.
And trust me, we'll be getting to him later.
Yes.
But Blade, I love the whole vampire aesthetic. I love the Daywalker aesthetic as well too.
Yeah.
The comics are awesome. The movies super cheesy, but they're fun
Yeah.
and very enjoyable. I'm very excited about the game that's going to be coming out within the next few years on Xbox. I can't wait to see what that's going to be all about. Apparently, it's take place in France.
Yeah.
Which that'll be really cool. Like
will
exploring
be.
the catacombs with
Oh,
Blade
yeah.
and stuff.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, I love Blade.
Yeah.
Number 8.
Awesome. My number 8 is Batman.
I didn't think he was gonna make your top 10.
I know. Like, I will say I definitely prefer darker versions of Batman. Like the catchy comedic, kind of lighthearted Batmans are
You
not...
don't like the Adam West Batman.
No, I don't. I like the dark stuff. My favorite Batman is the Batman, which is probably controversial for some people, but you know what? I don't care. It was the best Batman. I just, again, obviously everybody knows.
You've never seen the animated show, so I'll let slide.
Yes, yeah. I'm not a huge anime person for the most part, but...
It's not anime!
Animated, I said.
I know, but...
I'm not a huge animated person.
I know, but you've never seen it, so you can't say that.
Right, but in general, I don't gravitate towards animated shows very much.
Yeah, we'll be talking about that later in the list, I'm pretty sure.
Anyways, some yes, but anyways, the point is I like darker
yeah?
versions of Batman. You just want to fight today. Calm down. You'll get sleep later.
I'm not cranky.
We'll get you your juice box and we take a nap.
I'm not cranky.
Angry and cranky. But no, I like the darker versions. Like, everybody knows his backstory, I feel like. But again, another tragic...
Every movie has the origin. Every Batman movie has the origin story of him as a little kid walking out of the movie theater, then walking into the alley, and their parents get mugged and killed.
Yes. But I love a good tragic story. I love that, like, it's another case where, like, yeah, he's, like, still dealing with the demons of his past, but he's doing something good with it to take down, like, the bad people in Gotham. And yeah, I adore him.
See, and I'm surprised about that because, like, I know you liked watching the Batman movies and stuff like that, but I never really thought that you enjoyed Batman that much.
Oh yeah.
Like the actual character of Bruce Wayne and stuff.
Yeah, I do.
Is it because of the Batman where you got that appreciation more of it?
No, it's Buffett.
Okay, I'm just curious.
Yeah.
The reason I'm wondering about all this is because at my number 7, I have his biggest rival, Joker.
All right.
I love every incarnation of Joker, from Cesar Romero back in the 1966 Batman days, through the Heath Ledger version to the Harlequin version of Joker.
Yeah.
I love all the different takes on him.
Yeah.
All of them are fantastic in their different ways. And I just love that he knows how to mess with Batman.
Oh, yeah.
Batman could never kill Joker.
Yeah.
He can't. They are the most broken, redneck, trailer park, drama-filled relationship in the comic book universes.
I can see that.
Why? Because they need each other. They need that drama.
They can't quit each other.
They can't quit each other.
Yes.
They mess with each other so much.
True.
Like, there's so many instances where Batman just lets Joker go because he knows that he needs him in his life, even if he won't admit it.
It's true.
And the Joker just has, like, so many great one-liners and stuff. And, I mean, I'm not a big fan of what he did with Harley Quinn and the whole Stockholm Syndrome and, you know...
Yeah.
And also, we need to put this to bed. Joker and Harley Quinn is not the ideal relationship.
No.
Anyone who thinks that is sick in the head.
Yeah.
And I constantly keep seeing it all the time. Ever since the original Suicide Squad movie.
Oh, yeah.
People think that's like the perfect, you know, it's just like, I'm troubled and so are you. We love each other. That's not what happened.
No. She had a career.
She had a career. She was working on him, and she got brainwashed by him to become basically his slave.
Yeah.
And he just shows her just a little bit of love once in a while.
Yeah.
And that's all she needs to just stick around forever.
Exactly.
But who knows? We might talk about Harley Quinn later. I'm not sure. Okay. But yeah, just the Joker is just like one of the greatest villains of all time. Not my favorite villain on this list.
Yeah.
But I love the Joker.
I totally get you. My number 7 is Blade.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, you covered a lot with him, but like, again, his story, like, though he was born in a brothel, his mother was killed by a vampire, and because his mom was killed by a vampire when he was born, he essentially was immune to like vampires turning him. So he is on this lifelong mission to take out vampires.
Daywalker.
And usually I'm more on the side of the vampires because I love vampires, but like, he's kind of that weird mix, like you said, Daywalker, where like he is a vampire in a way, you know what I mean?
Well,
like,
he is a vampire.
He is, but it's not like in this sense.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's not Bela Lugosi.
No. But he's so just bad A again, and I love the Wesley Snipes take on him. I'm super excited for the game, and yeah, it's just that dark world that I love, you know? Mm-hmm.
Well, I know we're gonna continue on with some more dark stuff.
Well, yes.
But right now it's time to turn things to a lighter sense with my number 6.
Yeah.
And the only Marvel movie coming out this year features one of these people in the title,
Okay.
but it is, of course, Deadpool.
Yes.
I love Wade so much.
Yeah.
I loved him from the animated shows. I loved the comics. The very, very underrated PS4 game where the voice of Joel from The Last of Us plays Deadpool. He almost does every role. But just like all of his one-liners, the fact that you can't kill him, he just regenerates back into who he is.
Yeah.
Ryan Reynolds was meant to be Deadpool. Like, he is Deadpool. And even before Ryan Reynolds was involved, I loved Deadpool. And I'm just so happy to see, like, he's actually had movies. He's a part of the Disney universe now.
Yes.
Basically, the trailer, from what I understand, is he's gonna fix all the stupid stuff that's happened with the MCU and try to put everything back into a single track.
Yeah.
Which really needs to happen.
Yeah.
Because the MCU has gone way off course.
Oh, yeah.
And it just needs to get better.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited for the third movie. And the fact that it is rated R.
Yes.
Yeah, I was afraid of Disney making that like a PG or a PG-13 movie.
Yeah.
It needs to be a hard R, almost X rated
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That's Deadpool.
Yeah.
The bisexual superhero.
Yes.
He loves everybody.
Yes.
But yeah, I'm sure he's going to show up somewhere in your list because of how much you love Ryan Reynolds. So
Possibly.
I'll just leave it at that.
All right.
Deadpool at number 6.
All right. My number 6 is Poison Ivy.
I thought she would have been higher.
Yeah, you know. So if you're not familiar with her backstory, she was a doctor, a botanist, who was seduced by a professor into helping him steal an artifact that contained an ancient herb. He then used this herb to poison her, which gave her these superpowers that she is basically using to save the world and all of nature, Mother Earth, from the people on it. I love her. Number 1, I think she's one of the most beautiful male characters in comic books. I just love her look. But I love what she does and stands for because, let's be real, the world is falling apart because of people. And there needs to be a person like her in the real world to save it. Otherwise, it's eventually going to burn up and go away. And, you know, it's not going to affect us because we're going to be dead by then. But some future generation is going to have to deal with this. And I love that there is a character out there that's trying to put out a different message. And yeah, I adore her. And of course, I absolutely love her from the Harley Quinn show, which, yes, that is one of the exceptions of animated series that I like. I love her and Harley together. I think they, on the other hand, are a great together, unlike Harley Quinn and Joker.
Oh yeah, Harley and Poison Ivy are made for each other.
They are. They're different enough. Like, Harley Quinn is a little bit more bubbly and like silly, and just Poison Ivy just grounds her, I feel like. And yeah, they're great together.
And likewise, or vice versa, Harley also gets her to lighten up once in a while.
That's true. Yeah.
But she's also exactly why I'm surprised Batman made it into your top 10. Because you know who tries to stop Poison Ivy all the time?
I know.
Batman.
I know. But I'm taking them as their characters themselves, not in the scope of who they fight.
I understand. Well, I have another of Batman's rogue gallery.
Okay.
One that happens to also be on the Harley Quinn show. Yes.
I knew he was coming. How could he not?
Well, I mean, according to this list, it is. But one of my favorite villains, and just my favorite Batman villain.
Yeah.
Bane.
Yes.
I love Bane.
Yes.
I loved him from the animated show. I love the comics. Even the absolutely horrendous Batman and Robin. I love the little thing with Poison Ivy and Bane.
Yeah.
I forget which WCW wrestler played Bane in that, but it was only for a little bit. But the whole thing with him is, again, toxins.
Yes.
Toxins and radiation always seems to be in play here in some way, shape, or form.
Does.
But Bane takes these massive toxins to be able to grow into this absolutely super mammoth person.
Yes.
And usually he talks like this. I don't understand. To me, well, the Harley Quinn series, I think, is just like the best interpretation of him because he can be absolutely that ominous, scary force.
Yeah.
But when he's not roided out on those toxins, he's just like this normal, shy, I can't believe you would hurt me in such a way kind of guy.
Yes.
Like when he bought the Ivy and Harley a pasta maker, like he spent almost a whole season trying to get the pasta maker back when the wedding didn't happen.
Yes.
It's just like, it just feels so real.
It does.
It's just so funny at the same time. But
yeah.
And also, he's the only character in the Batman Rogues Gallery that broke Batman's back.
Yeah.
Using the actual backbreaker. And Batman had to go down the Lazarus Pit and retrain himself and become full force again. But yeah, that was the one comic I got last year when they did the reprinting of it, of the one-shot. It's the Vengeance of Bane, where Bane snaps Batman's back with the backbreaker. Closest to killing Batman ever outside of actually killing him.
Yeah.
And he's very relatable because he's just a big, dumb guy like me. Big, brooding, dumb guy.
Oh, jeez. Oh, well, my number 5 is Deadpool.
Ooh.
So obviously you talked a bit about him, but if you don't know his backstory, he was a mercenary who was transformed into what he is by an evil scientist. In addition to the superpowers he has of regenerating, and his humor, of course, he also was visually kind of destroyed. I mean, he looks like he's burned and just not looking like his normal self, and this has brought on a lot of insecurity for him. Like, he feels like he has to hide away. He feels like he can't really have a normal life, and I feel like that's relatable for anybody who has insecurities. Like,
for any reason.
Yeah. Like, I love his humor. I do love Ryan Reynolds, as you pointed out. He definitely is such an amazing Deadpool. He was born for that role. But I love that Deadpool has such a humor about him and such a strength, even though he feels so shunned away from the world. And he also shares my love of chimichangas. So yeah,
that is a huge part of the PS4 game too. Like, that's how he regains health, is through chimichangas and stuff, and different other kinds of Mexican food as well too. But do you think Deadpool and Wolverine's gonna be good?
I do, yes. I mean, it's rated R, which is already a good sign, and I just feel like Ryan Reynolds was so connected with it that I don't think he would let a bad Dead movie out there.
My only concern is there's someone bigger than Ryan Reynolds out there, and that's the mouse.
Well, Disney,
and they could easily
true.
Change things in a wrong way.
I guess I feel like if they would have, it wouldn't be rated.
Well, they could just say the F word a bunch.
It could, but I feel like that's a good sign that they didn't overstep on it.
Yeah, I'm optimistic about it, but I also have to be a little bit wary at the same time.
Oh yeah, I totally get you.
But in other things that deserve to be rated R, if not close to X rated because of violence, I am of course talking about the former soldier that goes on a revenge tear, and possibly the best anti-hero, or at least one of the best anti-heroes, Mr. Frank Castle, the Punisher, number 4.
Yes.
Absolutely just one of the coolest characters ever made. Originally a villain, then he became a superhero. Basically the epitome of what an anti-hero is. Yeah. And I tried explaining that to you for the first time as we were watching Punisher, and I believe your words were, as you said last week, I'm going to bed.
You're like, I believe you mean anti-hero in like your nerdiest little tone ever. I'm like, that's enough for you.
But we'll see if he shows up on your list.
Exactly.
But I love the original beat 'em up game that there was with it. If we didn't get the Mortal Kombat one, there was the Marvel Superheroes one, and that had the Punisher game on there.
Yeah,
that would have been really cool to play as well too. And hey, if that one stays under $100, maybe that could work somewhere again.
Exactly.
But yeah, the comics were great. I know you don't like the original art style of the Punisher,
definitely,
where he was wearing the one-piece suits with giant skull on there. That's not your thing.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah,
you like the more of the dirty, gritty Frank Castle.
That is true.
The Joe Bersenthal? Is that,
I can't remember his name.
The one from The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
He is the perfect Punisher.
Oh yeah.
And I say that watching the 2 Punisher movies that were absolute dog poop.
Yeah.
And also that your favorite ballad of all time with Seether featuring Amy Lee, Broken, is featured in the first movie.
Yes.
And John Travolta's in the second movie as the villain, so you know how serious they take everything there. But the Netflix show I thought was a fantastic representation. I didn't watch season 2, and that was my own fault.
Yeah.
Because around the time that came out and we were going to start watching it was around the time that, hey, it's all canceled, none of this matters anymore. So that made me not want to watch it because I felt like they were just going to end everything on a cliffhanger. But now that everything is getting revived, I think I'll have to rewatch season 2 again.
For the first time?
Yeah, well, watch it for the first... Well, I was going to say rewatch Punisher and then watch season 2. Hopefully they do a Punisher series. Or...
I hope so.
He's going to be in Daredevil.
Yeah, that's something at least.
That's something.
Yeah.
That's more than I expected.
Exactly.
And hopefully some more good comes from that. We could really use a good Punisher. Good rated M Punisher game.
Yes.
There was one, I think it came out on the PS2 and 360, where it was just just like, it almost got an adults only rating because of the way that he kills people in it.
Yeah.
They had to tone it down.
Yeah.
I would love to play that, but they're never going to re-release that.
Yeah.
But they could easily do that again. If they're doing a rated M Wolverine, I think they could do a rated M Punisher as well. And I want to see that happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, number 4, Punisher.
My number 4 is Spawn.
Ooh.
So I first discovered Spawn from the, Tug Collar, the Iced Earth album Dark Saga. While I don't want to support John Schaefer anymore, from the very first listen, I loved that album. I love the story of Spawn. That's how I learned the story of Spawn, and it's one of the most heartbreaking stories ever.
And what is that story?
Yeah, so if you're not familiar, Al Simmons is his real person name. He was a contract killer who was double-crossed by his... Ex-military as well, yeah. Who was double-crossed by his best friend and killed by him. And he was then sent to hell, and he made a deal with the devil so that he come back to Earth, upon which he discovered that his wife and children... Well, his wife was remarried to his ex-best friend, and his ex-best friend was now fathering his child. Which, how horrible is that? I mean, how horrible is that? But,
and once you know what, that's as far as it gets with Dark Saga too. Like, they basically just get to that part.
Yeah. But like I said, I fell in love with the story and the music along with it. And since then, you did quite a few years ago make me watch the Todd McFarlane animated version of it.
You saw the first 3 episodes out of 9,
okay,
which was its own movie. Well, there's 3 movies, and they're separated into 3 episodes each.
Okay, I got it.
You only watched the first 3.
Yeah. But I still absolutely love the story of Spawn, and yeah, it would be great if there was like a really good Spawn game or movie or something.
Well, they are still working on it. Apparently Jamie Foxx is still signed on to play Spawn. What do you think of that? Do you think Jamie Foxx would be good at that?
Maybe.
You still gotta watch the original Spawn movie from the 90s.
Yeah, I do.
I don't know if it's available streaming anywhere. We need to find that out, but you need to see that.
Yes. But yeah, that's my number 4.
Saying that also reminds me that I left out a big old omission. Clown Violator.
Yeah.
Just one of the best. One of the absolute best. My number 3 might come as a shock to you.
Okay.
And it kind of came as a shock to me that this person plays so high.
Okay.
But thinking it over, thinking about the whole backstory through the comics, the movies they appeared in, a TV show that they appeared in that's not going to get a season 2, I had to put this person in. Scarlet Witch.
All right. She was close on my list. But
I am amazed to hear that she did not make the top 10.
I know.
Batman did, but Scarlet Witch didn't.
We'll talk a little bit about our missed ones after. Okay.
All right.
Yeah.
But, the story of Scarlet Witch, obviously, her and her brother, Quicksilver, got these powers, and then they were orphaned when their parents died. Then they grew up being superheroes. Depending on the story, they join the X-Men. Sometimes they go out on their own adventures. Sometimes it's with the Avengers. It depends on the storyline.
Yeah.
But she always has to battle with her demons. Because in some storylines, Quicksilver dies. In some of it, Vision dies.
Yeah.
The love of her life. The MCU is kind of combining all of that together, and they basically made her a huge villain.
Yeah.
In a movie no one seemed to like except for us.
I know.
Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Yes.
I loved it. Sam Raimi did an amazing job of making it feel like a horror movie in a supervillain universe and stuff like that. I loved it. I don't care if you didn't.
Yeah.
But I loved it seeing that transformation, and of course you really see the transformation in WandaVision.
Oh yeah.
WandaVision. Ha ha ha. But seeing her just going through the grief of losing Vision and everything that's just in her head, and basically Breaking Bad, where she, like, it just seems so nice and innocent and everything, and then you start to unfold all the layers and you see all the terrible things that she's doing.
Ooh, yeah.
And of course it all led to everything that happened in Multiverse of Madness, and currently unknown what's going to happen.
Yeah.
She could be the new baddie, since they can't do Kang anymore since he's going to prison.
That's true.
So, and they cut off ties with him.
Yeah.
That was really disappointing to see all that happen, building up nothing. But yeah, I love the story of that because she deals so much with trauma.
Oh, yeah.
And that is something that I just relate to so very, very much.
Totally.
And in some stories she's able to overcome it, and in some of them she's not. So it depends on the interpretation.
It's true.
But I like the live action. I like the comics. Yeah. Scarlet Witch at number 3.
Awesome. My number 3 is Hulk.
There we go.
Bruce Banner. So for me,
or David Banner, depending
Banner.
on some versions.
That is true. That is true. David Banyan in some versions as well.
Yes.
So I fell in love with Hulk on the 80s TV show and movies. I love the movies. I think they're solid. I don't care.
No, I like them too. It's just I know what they are.
I think they're great.
I do too.
I do not like any other version of Hulk I've seen in TV movies, whatever. Like Lou Ferrigno and Ferrigno. And what was Bruce's name?
You just made me forget.
I know.
She has this power over me where if she forgets something, I can forget it easily. You'll correct us if you've gotten this far in the show. Please just let us know so we don't feel as stupid.
But I fell in love with that as a little child. I watched it all the time. I love his story. Again, it's a tragic story where he was trying to save somebody and he accidentally was exposed to gamma ray that turned him into the Hulk. I love that he's such a tragic character that like he can't ever find a home because anytime he gets settled in and finds love, finds work, finds a place that he can be, somebody brings out the Hulk in him and it destroys everything he has around him and he has to move on. And the music they have in the show and the movie, like, is there a sadder song out there? Like, just hitchhiking down the road, not knowing where you're going in life. Like, it's horrible. It's horrible and so amazing at the same time.
And so varied from what they're doing in the MCU.
Yes. He's just a big
joke character.
Big lumbering idiot. Like, ooh,
well, no, tough. He's smart.
He's smart, but I mean, it's just so clumsy and stupid. Yes. Like, I want passion. I want like that tragedy. I want real human emotion.
And we're not going to get that as long as Universal owns the rights to the Hulk.
Exactly.
Which they're not going to let go of that.
No.
So, and whenever the MCU is done, if it ever gets done, I'm sure the Hulk will have its own movie once again with someone else playing them, and it will probably get some new version of Velvet Revolver on there as well too. And anyways,
yes,
my number 2 brings me to one of my favorite superheroes of all time. Obviously, it takes Silver Metal. Funny I took silver because his whole body is a silver color.
Oh.
Or at least a metal type of color.
Yes.
He's big, he's bad, he's Russian, he is Colossus.
Nice.
My favorite X-Men, of course, being built in a project under the Russian army during the Cold War.
Yes.
Basically, he's built out of titanium, so nothing could kill him, and he could go through all these different kinds of bullets and stuff. But what makes him work is he does not want to fight in war. He does not want to do any of the things that he was basically transformed into doing.
Yeah.
You kind of see that in the Deadpool movies where, like, he always tries to talk Deadpool out of killing people and doing all of these things because he knows it's not right.
Yeah.
But it's also played out for a comedic effect because he's Russian.
Yeah.
But I can relate because I'm a big, tall guy that doesn't want to fight.
Yeah.
I will basically let anyone do anything to me that they do to get it out of their system, and I don't like to retaliate.
Yeah.
But when I do retaliate, it's over.
Yeah.
That's the same thing with Colossus. Like, he's made out of titanium. Like, you get hit by that with a punch or a kick or whatever, you're done.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's just, I love that idea. Like, you're built as a war machine and you don't want to fight the war. You know, it's just like being able to balance that out. And, you know, he's just a perfect mutant for the X-Men series. And one of the only X-Men characters to not be bought by Disney at the time. So he was designated as like a third banana in the Deadpool movies, which really disappointed me, but I was still happy to see him.
Yeah.
And I hope he still makes an appearance in the third movie.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah, that's my number 2.
All right. My number 2 is The Punisher, Mr. Frank Castle.
Frank Castles.
Again, another tragic story. You know, he had it all, a job, a family, a wife, and his family was murdered. And so he decides to go on a rampage of revenge. And again, just another character that has such a tragic past, but like uses it to like for good, you know. Again,
sometimes.
Well, sometimes. Okay, sometimes.
That's what makes him an anti-hero, torn between right and wrong.
That is true. That is true. But I mainly grew to know him from the Netflix series. I watched both seasons and I love it. There was one part about the second season that I wasn't fully on board with, but that's another hero there. And yeah, I love his story. I love that he's such like a tough character, but still like so many other dimensions to him. And yeah,
Punisher rules. And I hope Disney does him right.
I hope so. I hope
All
so.
right. So my number 1.
Yes.
You think you know who it is. You think you know, but you have no idea.
This is the story of
Yes, but, you know, some people might consider this to be a villain.
Okay.
Some might consider him to be a hero.
An anti-hero?
Or an anti-hero. There's a lot of different ways you can look at him.
Sure.
But of course, whether he's flying through the sky or just beating up guys, all I can say is hell yeah. Kite Man, number 1.
Are you being serious?
No. But there is nothing I'm looking forward to more than Kite Man Hell Yeah whenever that comes out.
That is true.
I'm looking forward to that more than the Fallout series. I'm looking forward to that more than Season 2 of The Last of Us. I need Kite Man Hell Yeah.
Yeah.
But no, seriously. All you have to do is just look down there.
Yep.
Who is there more than anybody?
Oh.
It is, of course, Al Simmons. It is, of course, Spawn.
Yes.
My favorite anti-hero.
Yeah.
You know, obviously working for the devil and working for the heavens, sometimes fighting heaven, sometimes fighting hell. And just everything that he had to go through just to try to make a better life for himself and come back to life, and just all of the horrible things that happened to him.
Yeah.
But also, at the same time, he is the definition of an edgelord. Like, he just looks like the ultimate cool guy.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like with his giant cape, the chains, the skulls. Like every incel on Earth in the 90s wanted to be Spawn. And I still do.
Yeah.
But no, I love Spawn. I love the story. I love the HBO series, which is voiced by one of my favorite voices in all of the world, Keith David.
Yes.
One of the greatest horror voices and actors out there. And of course, from Tales from the Hood too.
Yes.
I want to say the line, but I know you won't like that.
Yeah.
I will do it off mic, and you know I will.
Yes, of course you will.
I love Keith David. Of course, you know him best from Saints Row 4.
Yes. Yes, I do.
But the movie's awful, but it's that 90s cheesy awful where you can appreciate it for how terrible it is.
Yeah.
I really hope that if the new movie gets off the ground, that it's good.
Yeah.
I don't have faith in it actually coming out, but I want it to, and I hope it's good.
Yeah.
There's plenty of Spawn games out there, but they're all wretched for some reason.
Yeah.
The only thing that was any good was Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, where he was a exclusive character you could play as in a fighting game. All the other ones, it's like they start either like the controls are absolutely terrible, or the AI is terrible in it, or it's way too hard. Like, I just want a good beat 'em up Spawn game.
Yeah.
Why is that so hard to do? Why can they not do that?
Oh, yeah.
But I digress. Maybe in time.
Maybe.
But he was in the new renditions of Mortal Kombat as well. Also voiced by Keith David as well. So I believe that was Mortal Kombat 11, if I remember correctly. And it's great having Spawn. And I have some of those Mortal Kombat spawns down there as well.
You do?
I have some of the original spawns. I have Clown/Violator, however you want to call him. I love Spawn ever since I was a little kid in the 90s, and I still love him to this day, and my favorite comic book character. Kite Man, hell yeah.
My number one, if you know me at all, if you've listened to me on a lot of our previous shows, you might know what this is.
Yes, Harley Quinn.
Yes, that's it. No, it
Harleen Quinn.
Quinzel. No, my number one is The Crow, Eric Raven.
Who else could it have been?
Who else could it have been? I mean, if you look at around my office area, it is all The Crow.
Yeah. You have the most Crow stuff I've ever seen anyone have.
Yeah.
And it's growing.
It is. Of course, I absolutely love the original movie. It is my favorite movie of all time.
But even better is City of Angels.
But I also have started my collection of the comic book as well. I just love the story of Eric Raven. You're not familiar. He was beaten and forced to...
Whoa, hold on.
Yes.
This could all completely change come June.
Well, yes, there is a remake coming out in June, which we will talk about later in the movie section.
Yeah, so this might not be canon anymore.
Well, maybe not in that movie, but in the original movie and in the comics, he was beaten and forced to watch watch the
Unaliving.
I was gonna say the bad guys not only kill but rape his fiancee Shelley as well. He was murdered and he was resurrected by a girl to come back and avenge their deaths. And it is the most tragic yet beautiful story and the original movie ever. So many of the lines are like poetry. I mean, it's a gothy romance but tragedy at the same time. It's for any emo goth out there.
You also left out a key part.
Yes.
Which I'm surprised you did. He's a rock star.
Well, yes, he is a rock star, which only adds to his amazingness. But I mean, I could go on forever about the Crow, but it's just so, I love it.
And of course, he is a bigger IP than most people realize. In fact, a lot of people might not even know where the original Crow came from, but they'll know the iconic makeup, jet black hair, and outfit thanks to Steve Borden,
Yes.
aka Sting, aka Crow Sting.
That is true. That is true.
I don't know how they did not get sued.
Yeah.
Like, it's completely the Crow.
Yeah.
He had a Crow with him in WCW.
Yeah.
How do you not get sued?
I don't know. I don't know.
He had to have given the permission, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you also know there was a Crow video game?
I think I heard about it at one point, but I never played it or any of that. Yeah.
Absolutely horrendous from what I've seen from it.
Yeah.
But they should remake that. And who knows, maybe they'll do the Clint Howard version. They'll do a game on it.
Yeah.
Yes, I know I keep saying Clint Howard when it's Bill Skarsgård. That is the joke.
That is the joke.
And that joke will not die until after we see the Crow remake, which
true.
I know we're gonna go see.
We will see it. We will see it.
But there you go. That's our top 10 comic book characters. What do you think? Who have we left out? Do you agree? Disagree? Who had the better list? Who would win in a fight, Spawn or the Crow? That would be an interesting fight.
That would be.
I mean, both are unkillable, so I'd be
Yeah.
very curious to see who would win that.
So, who were some of your runner-up?
My runner-up, Sandman.
Yep, he was on my list as well.
Yeah, I should have put him on there probably because the Sandman story means so gosh darn much to me. I love the fact that a Netflix series actually got made of it, and they're actually making a second season.
Yeah.
And of course, the comics and the TV show, or the Netflix show, is a bit different than one of your comic book people that come from that particular show, Lucifer.
Yep, I will be talking about him in a second.
Yeah, Clown Violator. I should have put him on there as well too. Batman. I did not put Batman on there, and I'm very surprised I didn't because I love Batman.
Yeah.
But of course, I kind of associate my favorite version of the Batman being the Arkham games.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's like I didn't want that to be the only reason it was in the top 10 is because of
Yeah.
the games, because I was trying to think of like the comics. But pretty much anyone in Batman's rogues gallery.
Yeah.
You know, just like all of the villains. And I love the fact that they are making the anthology series on everyone that went to Arkham Asylum.
Yeah.
They're doing all the backstories of like all the different supervillains, why they're there, how they got made.
Yeah.
Unless Warner Brothers Discovery gets rid of it, which I would not be surprised if they did. But I think that pretty much covers everything.
Okay.
I know there's probably more that I'm blanking out on, but
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah. So on my end, you brought up Lucifer. I absolutely love the Lucifer television show.
Who would have thought, right? Because it was on Fox.
I know.
The trailers for it always made it look awful.
Yeah. So love his character. You also
Detective.
you also brought up Scarlet Witch. He was close on my list as well as Vision. I thought I just feel like he could have been brought into he could have been so much more in the movies.
Well, he is in the comics if you read those.
Yeah. Doctor Strange, I absolutely love. Thor, I have a weak spot for Thor.
I am amazed you did not bring up Thor, especially since you have Thor sitting on your desk.
Yeah.
It's because of the movies, isn't it?
It is. The movies are just a little too campy for me.
Don't you just love it? You love 80s hard rock.
Yeah.
Don't you love in Love and Thunder the entire soundtrack was just Guns N' Roses?
Oh yeah, that was just wonderful. Obviously Peacemaker, we love the Peacemaker show.
Yeah, Peacemaker was probably number 11 or 12 for me.
Yeah. Winter
Now that you mention
Soldier,
it.
Bucky, I absolutely adore.
Well, you love the one who plays Bucky more than anything.
Well, that is true.
That's why you love the movie Fresh so much.
Yeah. Elektra, I do enjoy as well. Howard the Duck.
Yeah, but you don't love the comic book version of Howard the Duck.
Well,
You love the movie
Yes.
version of Howard the
Yeah,
Duck.
it's true,
Which is
it's true.
nothing like the comic.
Fine, I still love him though.
In the comics, he's a mafia boss.
Yeah.
Is he a mafia a boss in the 80s movie where he's like a
No.
teenager?
But I want to get into the comics too. I do. Like, I just think they look good.
Well, they are cute. And Seth Green plays him in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies and little cameos and stuff. It's funny.
I know this is probably very controversial with a lot of people, but Morbius, I absolutely love the Morbius movie.
I enjoyed it as well.
Yeah.
And I think it's just because people hate Jared Leto.
Yeah, I 100%
Granted,
agree.
there's a lot of things to hate about him, but I did not hate the movie.
Yeah, that's true. Luke Cage, I enjoyed that Netflix series as well as the other Netflix one. The other member
Iron
of the
Fist?
Iron Fist. Thank you. Yep.
We're pretty much alone on that island too. Everyone seemed to hate Iron Fist, and I don't understand why.
I don't either. Couple more Preacher.
Oh,
which
Preacher, yes.
We need to finish that series, but we
Is
started.
it streaming anywhere?
I think so.
Okay.
But we started that series, absolutely loved it. And then finally Rocket. Like I mean I love Guardians of the Galaxy, but I feel like Rocket is such a complex story, and especially after that last movie, like my heart out that little thing.
You also forgot Groot.
Well, Groot as well, but yes. Like I said, I like
They're a pair. You
Yeah,
can't talk about Rocket without Groot. You just can't.
well, okay, fine, but Rocket, they have their own upbringing, so I mean
It's Rocket.
But yes, those are my honorable mentions.
Yeah, so yeah, those are our choices, honorable mentions, all that stuff. Anyone else that we left out or anything like that, please let us know.
Yes.
And I think it was pointed out a few months ago why neither of us put Spider-Man on. It was pointed out a few months ago. He's not damaged enough for you.
Pretty much.
Even though he has no parents and his uncle died,
Yeah.
and in some cases Aunt May dies too, but he's just not damaged enough.
No, he's too wholesome.
And there we go. All right, I forgot. Let's just say I forgot.
You forgot.
Yeah, we got to pick out a topic for next week.
We do.
Should put this out now. We're going to talk about it at the end of the show as well, but we're going to talk about it right here too. In 2 weeks, we will be doing our top albums of the first quarter of 2024. By that time, I'll have well over 100 albums I've checked out this year and reviewed, and I'm going to pick out some of my favorites. You're going to pick out some of your favorites too.
Yes.
It's going to be quite the challenge.
It is.
There's been a lot of good music this year.
There has.
Already.
3 months in.
3 months in. And we're already a quarter of the way through the year.
I know. That's crazy.
I hate it. So I'm going to be 36 soon, and I'm not proud of it. But, all right.
I think there's a couple we gotta remove too.
No.
Yeah.
Well, okay, fine.
Which means we only have one topic left, so we don't even need to spin this one.
Well, all right, fine. Quit Wizard of Ozing all of this. People aren't supposed to see behind the curtain. All right. Yes, if you haven't figured it out, it is going to be a genre bracket.
It is.
We need to add some new topics and everything, and we'll
We
talk
do.
about that later.
We will.
We talked about some already, but we didn't write it down. But we're going to do a genre bracket. We're going to do another bracket fight because we have fun doing those.
We do.
Gonna shuffle this all up, and then done. And 3 more. And here we go. What do we got?
Big money.
7 choices on the wheel right now, and ooh.
Oh, folk metal.
Your specialty, folk metal.
Oh, right.
One of your specialties, I
One
should
of,
say.
yeah.
Yeah. I love my folk metal, but I don't have as many
Yeah.
as you know. And I'm sure you could probably even do like a 32-64 thing out of this, but we'll see what happens eventually with that. But next week,
Yes.
we'll be doing a bracket fight of who will be the #1 folk metal band.
All right.
And why is it Elvati? So let's just get cracking. What have we been enjoying?
All right.
Good news, everyone!
It's time to let you know what we've been enjoying.
Don't you have some friends your own age? Someone to drink with? Maybe a girlfriend?
Talking about TV, movies, video games, wrestling, even music.
Can't you see you're not making rock and roll better? You're just making rock and roll worse.
You know, I really thought this was going to be a short show.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to be a long one.
Yeah.
I mean, we're already over the hour and 20 mark, and we got a lot of stuff covered.
We have stuff, yeah.
Yeah, so where do you want to start with all this?
Well, gaming-wise, I haven't really been doing much, but you've been playing Final Fantasy.
Yes, and I am on the final chapter. I am almost at the final boss. Of course, anyone who knows about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, some things changed from the original story in remake, so I don't know how it's going to end. and I'm very curious.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes, the second game is the most boring part of Final Fantasy VII, and they made it this long, but they did a lot of things to make it very enjoyable.
Yeah.
Very curious to see how it's all going to play out.
Yeah.
Very, very wackadoo, very goofy at times, but
Yes.
yeah, I'm still enjoying it.
All right. We listened to a couple singles this week. First up, we listened to a new single from Marco Haitala featuring Taria.
Yes.
Both formerly of Nightwish, with their new single Left on Mars.
Yes, this is off Marco's upcoming solo album.
Yes.
Which I'm eagerly waiting to check out. What did you think of this as the Nightwish aficionado?
Yeah. I mean, number one, I was just super excited to see them doing anything together again, because I love their voices together. I mean, they totally have that Beauty and the Beast vibe. When I first heard the single, like at the very beginning of the song, I wasn't sure what to expect, because it didn't sound like anything I had envisioned from them.
Well, did you think they were just going to do Nightwish?
No, but I mean, you expect something a little bit more theatrical, something a little bit more brooding, possibly.
Yeah, how did it turn out?
Not like that at all. I mean, definitely more, I would say more rock oriented than really metal. But as it went on, it definitely grew on me. I felt like the lyrics were definitely very pointed. They definitely were getting a message across.
What are you trying to say?
You know, just check it out. You'll see what I mean. But I really liked it. I really liked seeing them do a different project. It definitely had a bit of like Led Zeppelin-y vibes to it.
Well, I was going to say Bonham.
Yeah.
The band Bonham.
Yes, yeah.
Who, there's plenty of people out there who probably don't realize that Jason Bonham had his own band called
did.
Bonham.
He did.
Which is basically Led Zeppelin 2.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're one big song. It sounds it sounds like this song.
It does. But in a good way.
In a good way. I'm not saying Marco stole it or anything. It's just it has the
Yeah.
same vibes.
Yeah, but I liked it, and I hope they continue to do more together. So you?
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. When I talked to Marco, he said that if he was ever to do something outside of Nightwish, it would be something completely different.
Yeah.
And we also talked a lot about playing PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
I want to talk to him again, and I'm not going to ask any Nightwish stuff.
No.
I just want to ask what he's been playing.
Yeah.
That's all I want to do.
Totally.
But no, I really enjoyed the song, and I'm curious to hear the rest of the album. That is on Nuclear Blast, so I'm just eagerly awaiting the promo, whenever that comes to be.
Yeah, totally. We also listened to the new single from Bon Jovi.
Would you call it legendary?
I mean, that was the title of it, but I would not describe that as how it sounds. Now,
First of all,
I was going to go into my background. Like,
Oh,
if you want to ask, you can, though.
okay, well, this might be part of the background, because you know much more about Bon Jovi than I do.
Yeah.
Since when did they have 7 people in the band?
It's news to me. But yeah, like, I grew up loving Bon Jovi. When I was a little kid, I loved Bon Jovi. But really around the later 90s, early 2000s, once they kind of changed into more...
My life.
Yeah, with the Crush album, that's where they just fell off for me. Like, just way too people-friendly.
Who says you can't go home?
Country.
Do.
Gross. Yeah.
It just feels like the soundtrack to HGTV.
Yeah. I mean, ever since then, it's just been way too pandering, way too easy, way too up with people, way too like the easy rock channel for adults, you know.
And that's my problem with like what a lot of these bands were doing in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Because they were all doing that in the early 90s.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi didn't. They were doing like Young Guns too. They weren't doing like the soft rock where wind chimes is a musical instrument kind of thing. That's Bon Jovi.
Yeah. Yeah. And this single is no different. It is completely pandering. It just...
They did the wrestling thing. If you want to get over in wrestling, if you want to be a babyface, list people from the past.
Yes.
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah, it's true.
And Bon Jovi does this in the chorus when they talk about Brown Eyed Girl and all these other classic rock songs, and how one day Bon Jovi too will legendary. Well, just remember, Richie Sambora does have the bigger wang.
According to Lita Ford.
According to Lita Ford.
Moving on, though, movies. So, first of all, we decided to settle in and watch all of the Expendable movies together.
Yeah, we watched... you wanted action for some reason.
I do.
Which I'm very shocked by, because you're very against bro things.
Yeah.
Yet you have been on a kick lately where you want to see action movies.
I have.
Are you becoming a bro?
No, because I mean, I'm enjoying enjoying them for like the MSCing side of it and like just kind of the stupidness of it, but I'm not like thinking to myself, oh yeah, this is a quality movie, you know? So yeah.
But you're drinking out of your Ed Hardy water cup right now. You know, your liquid
Drinking
death.
out of a Caribou coffee mug.
Liquid death.
No, I am not.
You got your Ed Hardy / Affliction shirt on right now.
Oh yeah.
And then you cut a little slits in there to
I have my bedazzled jeans on.
Yes.
No.
And you have that I always refer to it as like a heather hair color or whatever, but it's also the Karen thing where it's like you can see all the roots in the hair, but it's dyed blonde, but you can clearly see it was not blonde.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do, except mine's reversed
I
color.
know. Well, stop giving everything away. These are jokes.
Anyways.
You keep Wizard of Ozing all of this.
Anyways.
No one needs to see behind the curtain.
Well, it's
so,
open.
anyways, Expendables 1 through 4.
Yes.
You asked me what action movies you should watch.
Yeah.
And we were thinking that, we watched Predator a couple weeks ago. Mm-hmm. Maybe we should keep going down an Arnold Schwarzenegger route.
Yeah.
And in a way, we kind of did.
Kind of.
Well, at least in cameos.
Yes.
Where we did go with the Sylvester Stallone series, the Expendables. 1, 2, 3, and Expend 4 Bulls. Because the 4 replaces the A.
Yes, yes. Clever.
So let's just go through this one by one. Do you remember the 4 movies separately?
Vaguely, yeah.
Okay. First movie.
Yeah.
Your thoughts?
I would say this is the second best of the bunch.
Okay.
It's definitely cheesy. I mean, none of them are qualities. Let's put that out there. None of them are like.
What are you trying to say?
None of them are right home. You know, these are amazing movies.
I'm Jason Statham. All I put out is
yes, Jason Statham. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of a who's who of a lot of the action figures, and it's super cheesy, but you can kick back and get a few giggles out of it anyways.
Oh yeah. If that's all you're looking for, it's a great movie and I recommend it.
Yeah.
Expendables 2.
I would say that the best of the bunch. Again, not quality, but it has some giggles, has a few more cameos and such, and you know, you can just kick back and enjoy it.
But you're forgetting all the cameos that are in this. From Jean-Claude Van Damme to Chuck Norris.
Well, that is true.
Bruce Willis.
Yes.
Arnold Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, Terry Crews.
Yes.
It's just endless in this one.
It is.
And it has my favorite action one-liner of all time.
Yeah.
I've told you this before. When I heard this line, I saw this on my birthday, the year it came out. I believe it was 2012. Mm-hmm. I saw this on my birthday with some former bandmates. This line came up. I stood up out of my chair and applauded because it was the greatest thing I ever heard in my life. And it's the title of this week's show.
Yes.
I'll pronounce you. No life. It is so terrible.
Yes.
And so good at the same time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's easily the best one.
Mm-hmm.
It feels like the one where they actually had a little bit of faith, this one.
Yeah.
Now, how about Expendables 3?
It was terrible. Like, they all of a sudden decide that they need to get rid of all the old characters and find a new group because the old people are too old now, even though Jason Statham is like the same age as some of the newer people.
And Sylvester Stallone is still a part of it.
Yeah, because
he's older than all of them.
Yeah. Ronda Rousey is in it, who I can't stand. It's terrible.
I have no good things to say about Ronda Rousey.
No.
And I don't want to get political on here, but nothing good I'd say about her.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely horrendous movie. It's got Harrison Ford, and he's flying a helicopter, so you know
that's something.
You know, he's doing what he does in his everyday life too.
Exactly.
Callista told him to get out and do something.
Exactly. So she got some.
We also learned that she's been on TV actively since Ally McBeal.
Yeah, who knew?
We had no idea.
We had no idea.
We thought she just stopped making TV after that was done.
Yeah.
But that shows how many channels are out there in the world right now. You could be a high class Hollywood actor and no one will know anything you've done.
Yes.
That's just how much content's out there.
Exactly.
But yeah, this one is an absolute freaking travesty of a movie.
It is.
And I thought this was the worst one.
Yep.
Until
then we saw the fourth one.
Yes. Expend 4 Bulls.
Yeah, this is the worst movie with Megan Fox in it, like trying to.
Megan Fox is a lead character.
Exactly, like just soulless, emotionless Megan Fox. Like, oh, it's terrible.
I referred to her as a soulless husk.
Yes,
because that's what she is.
Yes.
People say that about the girl from the Twilight series.
Yeah.
You haven't seen Megan Fox act.
Well, I say they're both pretty terrible, but yeah.
Well, I remember the one from Twilight from Adventures in Babysitting, and Megan Fox doesn't have something like that.
I have it. Okay.
Well, it was like a late 80s movie. It had Thor in in it too?
She was in that.
Yeah, she was.
The one from Twilight?
Yeah.
No. Who was she?
The little girl.
Was that her?
Yeah, she was the little girl in that.
Okay.
That's where I first heard of her.
Okay.
She doesn't believe me, folks. She's
I will
just
be
like staring.
I will be Googling this later.
All right, one moment, please, as we do this. We're gonna do this live on the air, folks, because
Oh,
they remade it in 26. Why?
I don't know. Oh, she's not looked on the.
Oh, I didn't know Vincent D'Onofrio. I guess. Okay, if I didn't have that right, then I remember she tried out for it and didn't
What
get
year
the
did
part.
that come out?
That was 87.
I don't think she was born yet.
Okay, well, I'm thinking of something.
Okay, that's fair. You're thinking
Whatever.
of something. Yeah.
All right, folks, I'm not as smart as I claim to be. Sorry for just wasting your life for the last few minutes. So yeah, that's the Expendables movies, and this
Yes.
whole thing is falling apart.
But then, guess what trailer we watched?
What trailer did we watch? Well, actually, we watched a couple trailers, if you really want to be fair about it.
Okay, I don't remember the other.
Yeah, you do, because we're going to see it this week.
Oh, yes. Yeah, okay, yes.
Well, since you've already hinted at it, you buried the lead. Clint Howard as Eric Draven. Crow 2...
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric, well, I was going to say mumble mouth, but... yes, I have been begging you to give me a real reaction to this trailer.
Yeah.
And you haven't given one.
Yeah.
Because all you said was you agree with me with what I thought of.
Yeah.
Have you actually gathered your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think so.
All right.
I mean,
take it away.
It's terrible. Yeah, I will say this. If it wasn't trying to be a Crow movie, if it was just like a different movie, they weren't using the Eric Draven name and stuff like that, I'd just be like, okay, it's not really my cup of tea. It's a little too young for me. But, you know, I see what they're going
because
for.
Bill Skarsgård is so totally young.
No, but the way they're like trying to like present it, like having a Post Malone song and just kind of trying to make it all hip and stuff, but under the guise of being the Crow, no, girl, no. Like they're trying to make it something that it's not. There's some kind of like mind games that somebody's able to do on them, and that is not part of the movie, the comic at all. Like the way they meet in like a rehab or some kind of like correctional facility type place. I don't even know.
We
exactly.
don't entirely know yet.
Yeah, but like I feel like it's just taking the like innocence, the romance, and the like emo like sensitive side out of it, and it's turning into this Post Malone pandering, yes, like trying to be hip and trying to bring in the younger generation, and just like forgetting everything that the Crow was about.
Now, since you keep mentioning his name,
Yeah.
the night before the trailer dropped,
Yeah.
we found out the trailer was going to drop.
Yes.
And what did I say?
What kind of a Post Malone song are they gonna put in this?
No, what Post Malone song are
Yeah.
they gonna drag out to make it the
Yes.
Hollywood trailer version?
Yes.
And wouldn't you know it, they did.
Yep.
They took the Ozzy Post Malone song, which I don't know if that was on the Ozzy album or the Post Malone album. Apparently they guessed it on each other's albums for some reason.
Yeah.
But I was right.
You were.
I can't prove that to anybody but you.
Oh.
But I just knew that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, you're absolutely wrong in your assessment.
Okay.
It says, the slogan of the movie, love never dies. Can't even say that with a straight face.
See?
Alright, so, my thoughts. I will never be as big of a Crow fan as you.
Yes.
But I will be a bigger Sting Crow fan than you. I grew up with him.
I did too.
You watched from afar. I was there week after week.
I tuned in just for him.
I was there before he was Crow Sting. I was there for the Surfer Sting. I had old NWA, AWA tapes of when the Sting and the Ultimate Warrior were a tag team known as the Blade Runners.
Fine, we're talking about Crow Sting though.
I'm a real fan.
You know what? You're so delirious. I'll let you have this.
I am quite delirious. Yeah, I've stayed up way too long.
Yes.
But, no, to reiterate my thoughts that I said do.
Yeah.
This just feels like... Well, let me actually go back to our previous topic.
Yeah.
This feels kind of like the Joker-Harlequin kind of relationship.
Yeah. We're both so damaged.
We're both so damaged. We love each other. No one could tear us apart. But then something does tear you apart.
Yes.
Or someone puts a bag over that relationship. And then... And then it feels like emo John Wick.
Yeah.
And there's only one version of John Wick I want, and we already saw it last year, and that was Sisu.
Yes.
That's my kind of John Wick.
Yeah.
Although I haven't seen the John Wick movies, I just
Me
know
either.
what they're like, and
Exactly.
I know he's avenging his dog, so that's something admirable. But
you go.
it's also Keanu Reeves, so it's kind of a toss-up there.
Oh, and there's no Sarah. Like,
Yeah,
in the
there's
movie,
no Sarah.
But there's some old dude, like, saying her lines instead.
Yeah, which is why I almost feel like this isn't, like, just a reboot. I feel like this is like what Candyman was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Where it's also a sequel along with a reboot.
Yeah.
Where I kind of feel like this is after the events of The Crow.
See, the only thing is, though, that they're still using the Eric Raven and Shelley names. If it was different names, because there are different characters that play the Crow throughout the comic book series. If it was like that, then okay, that'd be a different lens. But they're using Eric Raven and Shelley.
All right. Well, we're going to go see it in June, and we're going to be miserable.
Yes.
Can we please go see it at Alamo so we can at least have some good food while we do it?
Maybe.
All right. Well, actually, we should talk about that now.
Yeah.
Since that was the other trailer that we saw.
Yes.
Well, I don't know if we're going to see that at Alamo. I mean, that'd be 2 trips to Alamo that we're doing. But a movie I've been waiting years for is coming out this week.
Yeah.
It is, well, apparently it's also going to be on Shudder, but I would like to see it in the theater. A 70s exploitation movie known as Late Night with the Devil.
Yes.
I have been waiting such a long time for this movie. Without trying to give the entire thing away, there's a late night show that's doing terrible in the ratings. And on Halloween night, they decide to do something very satanic to try to bring in the ratings.
Yeah.
And everything goes wrong. That's as far as I want to say.
Yeah.
Having watched the trailer and, me talking about it for a while, what did you think?
I'm super excited for it. Like, they nailed the aesthetic of, like, the 70s late night show and kind of all that's about, but then putting that total evil veil over it. Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm not even a Possession fan.
No, you're not at all.
And I want to see this so bad.
Yes.
So that's got to tell you something.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll be seeing that this week coming up, and we'll also be seeing the original Crow in theaters.
Yeah, the night after. We will be seeing, at Alamo, we'll be seeing the 30th anniversary screening of The Crow.
Yes.
Yes, it's early.
Yeah.
It is not on the date or the weekend or even the month.
Yeah.
Because I imagine that it would be too close to the original or the upcoming
Remake.
Crow movie. And, you can't take your money into different places like that. So you got to make them separate.
Yes.
But, yeah, that is going to be at Alamo. And this was the first time we ever bought tickets well in advance.
Yes. Yes.
Well in advance.
And they were still not the best seats because they had already sold so many.
Yeah, aren't we like in the front row or something?
We're the second row, I think. But
Okay.
That's okay. It's okay. It'll still be good.
And Burnsville resident Ernie Hudson in one of his best roles
Yes.
as well.
Yes. And of course, we also ordered the Steelbook 4K
Blu-ray.
version of The Crow coming out later this year. So,
Ultra HD Blu-ray.
yeah, so we'll be watching it again then too.
Yeah, see, and we got the physical, the disc drive version of the PS5, so we can still watch it.
Yes.
We haven't gone completely digital yet.
No, not yet.
Well, I mean, I got so many games from the PS4. It's stupid to only get
That
the.
is true.
Although we did do that with the Xbox, and I have a lot of 360 games that would work if we had gotten the Series X.
Yeah, but that was our second film, so.
Yeah. And, as we've been talking about over the weeks, game by game, some of those might be going over to other systems
That is true.
at some point. But, yeah, that's kind of our week coming up.
Yeah.
Kind of like I mentioned before as well, I'm going to be hitting 100 album reviews coming up this week, actually.
Yeah.
Because as of right now, I have 15 albums that are slated, which isn't even the most that I've done.
No.
The very first one that I did was the most, which was 17.
Yeah.
This is 15, so I should be fine. And I've also noticed like the YouTube Shorts version are getting like hundreds upon hundreds of views.
Pretty awesome.
Yet the version that I put all the time and effort into, where I put in the song clips, I put in funny stuff, no one's watching it.
Yeah. People's like attention spans are getting littler and littler as
I
time goes
know.
on.
I'm the last of a dying breed.
Yeah.
I know I am.
Yeah.
I don't like just watching something for a few seconds. I like to be fully engaged with something. But, well, that's why I have 3 different versions. I have the full-length YouTube, I have YouTube Shorts, and I have the written version. And the version that's coming up right now with Out Today and What I Missed.
Now here are some of your no-name bands.
And now it's time for Out Today and What I Missed.
People either loved us or they hated us, or they thought we were okay.
With Metal Faerie checks out the albums that came out this past Friday,
Where can I find the latest releases?
and anything else that came out before that.
I just heard them on the King Biscuit Flower Hour.
What will she like or hate this time?
Ugh.
Well, how many times is the Metal Faerie going to go, ugh, this week? As we cover 13 brand new albums.
Yes.
8 of them came out this past Friday, and then 5 of them came out a little bit past that, before that. But I enjoy all 13 of them, whether it's really straight ahead or some of the wackiest things you've ever heard in your entire life.
Yeah.
But first, let's get into some horror metal with Aborted.
Yes.
The album Vault of Horrors. This is a concept anthology album where they discuss, they do a song about a different horror movie with every song. And they have a guest for every song. You still need to hear the one with Francesco from Flesh God.
Yes, I do.
Yes, he does a terrific job on that. But really brutal death metal, a little bit more in the progressive death metal at time, and a lot of melodic moments, like some of the most melodic stuff they've done in their career.
Yeah.
To me, it's kind of like what Cattle Decapitation was last year, where they still have that core brutal sound, but they're showing a lot more melodic stuff on this album.
Yeah.
But what about you?
Yeah, so not my typical thing because it's way more like gutturals than I normally gravitate towards and just a lot more intense than I typically gravitate towards. But it was very catchy and if I was going to listen to any of the more intense death metal stuff, this is what I would pick. I definitely need to hear more of it, see what other songs sound like because I appreciate the horror aesthetic and that it was very catchy.
Oh yeah, and as of right now, my favorite Aborted album is called Terror Vision, which is all based on the 50s, 60s horror.
Yeah.
So it kind of has that kind of cheesy 50s horror feel, sci-fi monsters and stuff like that. This one is, kind of based on the comic book series Vault Horror, but with real movies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thoroughly enjoy it. Next up is a debut album from a band known as Brat with Social Grace. This female-fronted band and very easy on the eyes. This is a grindcore death metal power violence band, and you can tell this because they have 10 songs and it's 20 minutes long. Kind of like that band that we saw open for Night Demon where they played an 8-minute set. They were touring behind an 8-minute set.
Yeah.
Playing that same song.
Same song coming up.
Yeah. Your take?
No. I did not like her voice at all, and I found the music to be extremely dull.
You are so wrong.
Well.
So wrong. Speaking of dull, next up we got Dragon Force.
Yes.
With their 9th album, Warp Speed Warriors. If you checked out the video or the YouTube short that I did on this, I did not even say I enjoyed this album.
Yeah.
I liked moments of it, but I fully feel like Herman Lee and company have just embraced being a meme.
Yeah.
They just went all in and said, F it, we know what we are, we're like a parody band, we're just gonna be a parody band from now on. What did you think?
Yeah, historically, I've never been a Dragon Force fan. I've always felt them to be very stereotypical.
The only power metal band you don't like, for the most part. Well, that doesn't have, allegations and stuff.
Yeah, well, that's true. But, yeah, they are just a novelty act at this point. They are just putting on a show, they're a novelty.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure out how I feel about the whole thing, but, yeah. Next up, we have what I can only imagine is a one-off project from members of Kilter, the Growlers Choir, and many other projects. It is a project known as La Suspendia. I will try to explain this. I can't really go into detail because if I say the right words, I will be canceled / YouTube channel will be removed. It is about a young girl who is no longer alive, but finds herself somewhere between alive and dead, seeing her corpse in a relationship.
Yes.
I can't go much further than that.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you checked out the show recently and you heard me talk about Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum and how wacky they are, Sleepy Time Gorilla Museum sounds like AC/DC compared to this album.
Yeah.
So what does that mean for you?
It is not for me. It sounds like an underground opera in HE double hockey stick.
Oh, you can say that. It's in the Bible.
In hell.
Yeah.
Way too wonky doodle for me. Just oof.
But you love operatic vocals.
There are limits.
Rocky. Well, I enjoy enjoy it, and I didn't realize this, but one of my friends is in the Growlers Choir.
Oh, okay.
And he thanked me for checking out the album and enjoying it.
Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that when I did that, so I'm 35 years old and still learning every day. Next up will probably be one of your favorite albums of the year, if I know you at all. It is the brand new album from Lords of Black with Mechanics of Predacity.
Yes.
You just heard one song so far, unless
yes.
you checked out more on your own, which I don't think you did.
Not yet.
But of course, your man, Ronnie Romero,
yes.
is fronting this band.
Yes.
Even though they tried to replace him, they realized they couldn't, so they brought him back.
Stupid choice.
Well, they brought him back.
Yes,
He sings on all the albums. So yeah, what did you think of this?
Good Lord, yes. His voice is just amazing on everything he does, but this song, these lyrics, like just the passion behind it, and the music's amazing. Everything is perfect about it.
I should say the song is I Want the Darkness to Stop.
Yes.
Which is something I can relate to as well.
Yes.
But yeah, amazing album from start to finish.
Absolutely.
Next up is probably my lock of the week, my favorite discovery of the week. It is the band Lotharo and their sophomore album Chasing Euphoria. I know this best as the drummer of the band, Corey, is also the drummer of Crimson Shadows and is also dating Lindsay Schoolcraft.
That's a pairing.
That is a pairing. So what did you think of this?
I really liked it. I mean, it was a good mix of kind of the mellow death, but a lot of power elements thrown in as well. The music was amazing. Her vocals, I really like the clean vocals. I feel like the harsh side of it I need to get used to a little bit more. But I really like it, and I need to check out more from them.
Yes, you do. I think he'll grow in you on time.
Yeah.
It will. Next up, we're going in a very different direction with some blackened death metal with very understandable vocals, which you do not expect in blackened death metal.
Yeah.
But it is, of course, David Vincent, formerly of Morbid Angel, Flo Monnier of Cryptopsy, and Blasphemer, formerly of Mayhem. It is the band Voltamas with their sophomore album Epic. And as I said, blackened death metal with very enunciated, clean, understandable vocals. Which is such a paradox to me.
Yes.
But what did you think of this?
It wasn't bad. Like, I thought there were some really nice musical parts. I do feel like this is one that I need to listen to a little bit more. I think it'd be more of a grower than a shower for me.
Just like me.
There you go.
I have snares here. Why am I not using them? No, I love the album. I was listening to it earlier today, and yeah, it's really good stuff. And probably, maybe not your favorite album or band of the year, but your new favorite singer of the year.
My new boyfriend.
Your new boyfriend. The band Whom Gods Destroy, featuring Derek Sherinian, formerly of Dream Theater on keyboards, Bumblefoot, formerly of Guns N' Roses, in Art of Anarchy, Solo, all that stuff on guitars.
Yeah.
The rhythm section, who I'm not really familiar with, but none of that matters to you.
No.
Because you found your boo-boo.
My boo-boo.
You found, even though I've been showing him to you for years, you finally discovered Dino Jalusic.
Yes.
So what did you think?
And I have loved his voice in other albums. I just never saw him until now. And
I know. You love the Michael Romeo album so much.
I do. It was on my top list of the year.
Yeah, yet you never thought to look him up.
I didn't. But girls, he is a looker. Yeah, he has an absolutely amazing voice, and this is no exception. He sounds amazing on this song, and if you heard another song or two from this album as well.
Yes, you did.
Musically, I enjoy.
You wanted to see the music videos of him.
Yeah.
And one with the shirts that's kind of open.
Exactly. Musically, I like it. I do like some of his other his solo band musically a little bit more, but his voice makes it for me, so yeah.
And you have so much you've missed out on.
Yeah.
So much. And that's all the stuff that came out just a couple days ago, but I got 5 more that I've checked out over that course of time as well too, including the brand new album from Gray Skies Fallen with the album Molded by Broken Hands. Very gothic doom metal out of New Jersey of all places, where you wouldn't really expect gothic doom metal to come out of. But I really love it. It reminds me a lot of November's Doom and My Dying Bride mixed together. My kind of combination. But for you...
Yeah, I liked it. There was some really pretty music parts. The vocals were harsher than I was expecting, but it kind of fit in a way I wasn't expecting. And yeah, I need to listen to some more of it.
I'm glad to hear that. Next up is the band Intermissing with their 10th album, The Diary. This is another gothic gothic metal duo. The band has gone through a lot of different kind of incarnations and sound and stuff, but they always kind of had that gothic feel behind it, including moving to Israel from Russia and, you know, just moving from one war-torn country to another. Maybe the music kind of matches that, but what did you think?
I feel like I kind of need to hear more. Like the vocals, I like her vocals, but his were super monotone to me, and I didn't dig that. But maybe some other songs would be different. But it was okay. It was okay.
Well, right on. Next up, we got a one Finnish man project. Very melodic progressive metal here with band Notio and the sophomore album Worldview. Yeah, super melodic progressive metal. The vocals remind me so much of Hansi from Blind Guardian. And the music I just thoroughly enjoyed. But what about you?
I really liked it. It's very unique sound. Like his vocals to me, like I can hear the Hansi, but I can also hear like a very like folk element to his vocals, which you would not expect in this type of music at all. But it kind of adds just another flavor to it that's really nice. So yeah, I like it.
I think that's what makes it stand out to me.
Yeah.
Next up, I already know your feelings on this one.
Yeah.
It is the 5th album from the LA death metal band Skeletal Remains with Fragments of the Ageless. If you just love that super heavy death metal, like if you want some of that old school stuff like Obituary mixed in with some more proggier moments at times like Pestilence and that modern super deep production in death metal that they have nowadays, you need to check out Skeletal Remains. But of course, that's not for everybody, is it?
No, it's not for me. It's just way too hard for me. Not big.
Phrasing.
Yeah.
You wish it was floppier.
Yes.
And finally, we head over to Binary Dream by Turbulence, the third album from this band. And it's not often that you hear about a metal band from Lebanon.
No.
And that's what had me very intrigued on it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they're a very proggy band. Like, if you like Haken, you'll love Turbulence. The vocals are a little more folky. I mean, it kind of comes with the territory of living over there. I think that just comes natural. There's also some more djenty elements, some more jazzy elements. Half the album's instrumental, so I know that could be a turnoff for some people. But what did you think?
I did like his vocals, but musically, like, there were parts that I enjoyed, but there were definitely parts that were just a little too wanky for me. Like, dialed down the noodle.
Oh, well. Well, at least there were some albums you did enjoy.
There
and
were,
that you'll
there
go
were.
back to. And
Yeah.
who knows? Maybe something will show up in 2 weeks when we cover our top albums from the first quarter of 2024.
Yes.
I don't know if we're going to do 5 or 10. Whatever you feel comfortable with, I'll match that.
Okay.
And then we'll go from there.
All right.
That'll be in 2 weeks. We record that March 31st, so that's either going to be up that Sunday night or it'll be up on April Fool's Day because that's going to be a fun day to put a podcast up that's going to have stuff going on. I can't wait. But yeah, thank you for sticking around and checking out episode 36 of the Heavy Debriefings podcast, which I, of course, am calling I Now Pronounce You Man and Knife. Make sure to check out the outro to check out all the places you can check us out. And until next week with episode 37 in a row, yes, the Clark reference, she doesn't remember, I'll remind her off mic for the Metal Faerie. This is Josh Ronquist for the Heavy Debriefings podcast saying, embrace the skillet.